Welcome to industrial timber, where heavy wood, steel machines, unstable ground, and split-second decisions decide how every job ends. Subscribe now if you want more industrial logging, heavy forestry machines, extreme timber hauling, and real close calls from the toughest work sites. We start in deep mud with the Valm at 840.3, and this is not the kind of ground that lets a machine pass easily. Every wheel turn looks like a fight. The mud pulls at the tires, the weight shifts through the frame, and the operator has to manage throttle, traction, balance, and momentum all at once. Push too hard and the machine digs itself deeper. Back off too much and it stops moving completely. This is where skilled operators prove they are not just drivers. They are reading the ground every second. Then another logging truck gets trapped on a brutal incline, and the recovery turns serious fast. One machine is not enough. Two machines are not enough. It takes 3 heavy units just to bring the truck back under control. At that point, this is no longer simple transportation. It is a full fight against slope, weight, mud, and gravity. After the job, someone looks at the result and says, "Not bad." In timber work, that usually means the crew got lucky enough. Nobody was crushed, nothing caught fire, the machine survived, and the structure is still standing. Then everyone stops talking because the trunk starts to lean. The moment a tree begins to commit, every person on site watches the same thing: the fall direction. You can cut, wedge, pull, and guide it. But once gravity takes over, control becomes limited. At that point, the crew is not commanding the tree anymore. They are trying to stay ahead of it. A logger cuts into a fallen trunk while a winch cable nearby stays loaded with tension. That is a dangerous combination. The timber suddenly shifts, slides across the ground, and gets dragged through forest debris by the pulling force. A log on the ground is not always harmless. If tension is still trapped inside it, it can move like it is alive. Then comes the blunt mindset of industrial logging: less talking, more timber on the ground. That attitude keeps production moving, but it also explains why this work gets dangerous so fast. Trees twist, limbs break. Logging is basically physics with consequences. Weight transfer, leverage, tension, compression, momentum, balance. Every cut is a real engineering problem. The difference is that the answer comes immediately, and if it is wrong, the forest does not give you time to fix it. Next, a firefighter works beside a huge hollow tree while smoke pours from inside the trunk. Then flames erupt upward like the tree has turned into a furnace. A burning hollow tree is not stable timber anymore. It is damaged structure, trapped heat, weak wood, and unpredictable collapse risk all in one place. Then the real monster rolls in. A powerful forestry machine equipped with a heavy winch system and full rotation capability moves into terrain most equipment would avoid. Deep mud, steep slopes, unstable ground. This machine is built for exactly those ugly places. It does not look comfortable, but it looks capable. That is the point of industrial forestry equipment. Survive where normal machines stop. Every operator eventually learns the same lesson. When gravity finally decides to move a heavy tree or loaded log, pride disappears quickly. At that moment, survival matters more than skill. The best operator is not the one who tries to win against physics. It is the one who knows when to get clear. Then the exact outcome everyone feared becomes real. The shed becomes the impact zone. The tree lands where nobody wanted it, and suddenly the worst-case scenario is not a guess anymore. Forestry has a bad habit of turning nervous predictions into actual damage. The pressure rises again. Engines strain harder, operators shout directions, machines shift under load, and the whole scene feels seconds away from losing control. This is the sound of a job sitting right on the edge. Then flames burst through a large neighborhood tree beside a home. Smoke rises, debris burns, and a quiet street becomes a danger zone almost instantly. Tree work near homes is already risky. Add fire, and the situation changes completely. People say, chop down a tree like it is simple. It is not. Those words hide lean, weight, rot, tension, nearby structures, escape routes. A man cuts through a fallen tree near a massive exposed root ball. The trunk is down, but the danger is not finished. When the final cut releases the tension, the root system slams back into the ground, throwing soil and dust everywhere. That is stored force unloading all at once. Then one clean cut lands exactly right, and the crew knows it immediately. Sometimes a simple, nice, says more than a full explanation. The plan worked, the tree moved right, and nobody had to run. A loaded logging truck crawls through a muddy jungle road with huge timber flexing under the trailer's weight. A massive loader pushes from behind, forcing the overloaded transport through ground that clearly does not want to let it pass. This is not speed work. This is survival by traction. Out here, speed is almost useless. What matters is grip, balance, terrain awareness, and knowing how heavy equipment behaves when everything is under pressure. On roads like these, one bad decision can send the whole operation backward. A few moments later, the crew is relieved because the window somehow survived. That sounds small, but in this kind of work, avoiding extra damage can feel like a win. Then a forestry harvester grips a standing tree and slices through the base in seconds. Hydraulic arms control the trunk, stabilize the weight, and turn dangerous felling into a fast mechanical operation. This is where modern forestry shows its value. Less chaos, more control, and a lot less guessing. But the danger spikes instantly when a branch touches live power lines. Sparks explode across the scene. 1 second it looks routine. The next second the whole area becomes life-threatening. Tree work near electrical lines leaves almost no margin for stupidity. High above the ground, a tree worker cuts an upper section while secured by ropes and climbing gear. The trunk shifts after the cut and throws him sideways, leaving him swinging on the safety line. That harness is not decoration. In moments like that, it is the only reason the close call does not become something worse. That is the line forestry crews walk every day, calculated control on one side, total chaos on the other. 1 second of distraction can destroy a machine, injure a worker, or collapse an entire job. Then we see real cutting skill. The trunk is too large for the saw bar, so the logger uses a multi-stage cutting method. That is where experience shows. Anyone can hit the throttle. Not everyone can read wood fiber, tension, compression, and fall direction when the tree is bigger than the tool. High in the tree, another climber uses ropes and harnesses to control heavy suspended sections. Each cut sends wood swinging away under tension. Sawdust flies, the rope system loads up, and the operator has to stay calm while working in a position where one mistake has no easy recovery. When someone walks away unharmed after a sketchy cut, that alone can count as a successful day. It is not dramatic, it is reality. Then the Kirovet's K701 enters with raw mechanical force. It does not look refined. It looks like a steel animal built to pull, push, and break resistance until the job moves. Next, an excavator uses a tree-cutting attachment to grab and slice through a tall tree in one controlled motion. The trunk is held securely while branches shake under the force. This is industrial timber work at its most direct: hydraulic grip, cutting power, and fast removal in one movement. Then the scene shifts to old-school sawmill simplicity. A strong frame, sharp blade, reliable mechanics, and a system that still produces good lumber efficiently. Forestry technology does not always need to look futuristic. Sometimes the best machines are the ones that have survived for decades because they simply work. Still, a few extra safety systems would not hurt. That is the daily reality of timber work. Dangerous slopes, unstable loads, falling trees, mechanical failures, collapsing traction, and operators trying to manage all of it without losing control. Some people pick up a chainsaw like it is a toy, and you can tell immediately the situation is heading the wrong way. Bad stance, poor awareness, wrong position, too much confidence. That is how ordinary tree work turns into an emergency. A chainsaw is not forgiving equipment. The moment you stop respecting it, it starts punishing you. An overloaded logging truck hauls massive timber down a dusty road, with logs stretching far beyond the trailer. That is a dangerous load even before the road gets bad. Add bumps, turns, braking, or uneven ground. Then another man cuts from a ladder, and the heavy branch snaps unpredictably. The limb swings, the ladder shifts, and he falls hard. It is the same lesson again. Finally, the HSM 208F shows why specialized forestry machines exist. On steep slopes with heavy timber behind it, the machine stays balanced, composed, and controlled. Ordinary equipment would struggle or fail here. This kind of machine is built for the places where forestry gets serious. This is industrial timber giant trees, overloaded machines, unstable terrain, dangerous cuts, heavy hauling, and operators pushing equipment to the limit every day. Subscribe now for more industrial logging, forestry recoveries, heavy timber transport, giant chainsaws, and real machine action from deep in the woods. Drop a comment with the craziest machine or closest call from today's video. Gravity always gets the final say.